This clip is brought to you by Piedmontese Beef, the best beef on the planet. Use code POWER for 25% off your entire order. Enjoy the clip and enjoy your meat.
Yeah. As far as before you got Kevin as a therapist, did you ever view therapy in a negative light? Like, was it something that you looked down upon? Because, you mentioned you sent 16 people over to Kevin. 27 people over to Kevin. So men in therapy seem to be like oil and water.
Yeah. I didn't look at it as a negative. Like, I didn't look down upon it. Mm-hmm. I just was like, this is how dumb we are as men, bro. I was like, oh, that's for men who are really fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, how much more fucked up can you get? Being molested by 2 older boys, feeling unlovable, broken, shame, rage, confusion, having the nastiest fucking sex life ever. Like, so nasty where I would go to the doctor and be like, I fucked 4 chicks this morning and things are all popped out around my crotch. Like, you got to give me medicine. And he's like, that's actually just from the waistband of your underwear because you've just been hot and sweaty and nasty all. Like, that's just fever blisters. Yeah, just wash yourself,
You're just
son.
chafing.
Are you wearing a condom? No, it doesn't feel good with a condom. Like, that's how, like, if that's not fucked up. Yet I'm like, oh, therapists are for fucked up people. So I never look down on them. I'm like, well, I'm just not fucked up. I'm normal. It's so easy to, I'm guessing, who's that dude who would eat boys? Jeffrey Dahmer. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing he's like, I'm normal. Everything's fine. Like, you like hamburger, you like steak. I like eating humans.
Why would I need help?
Why would I need help? And I think that's the problem. Like, we don't see our own shit. Again, the ego will shield and soothe. So my ego was like, no. A therapist is for fucked up people, for hurt people, for broken people. I'm fine. So I didn't. But thankfully, that panic attack that I had, this is how funny the universe is. That panic attack that I had when I was 38, 10 years ago, led me to the doctor because my wife's like, let's just have your heart tested. EKG test, stress test. Hey, your heart's fine. But you have stress, anxiety, dealing with all that shit. Yeah. Here's Xanax. 4 days of Xanax. Like, I'm like drooling out of the side of my mouth. I got zero creativity. I call the doctor. I'm like, hey, man, at this point, my business is going to collapse if I just keep using Xanax because I have no urgency and desire to work. What's another way to, but good news is I don't feel anxious for 4 days. Like, this is fantastic. All right. What's the alternative? Do you have another drug? He goes, no. Have you considered talk therapy? I was like, fuck. But because I love money, because money to me is a vehicle to meaning, I get to help those charities. Like I said, Shriners, Toys for Tots, Compassion International. I was like, I need a lot of money. I want to give my family the fucking awesome life that we have. I want to make that even better. And I want to help these causes that make me feel good. So I reluctantly went and found a therapist. The first therapist I found was a woman. She cried more than I did in the first fucking session. I was like, all right, one, I'm going to be honest with you guys. And this is all while I'm married and I did not fuck her. But I'm like, one, I want to fuck her. Yeah. 'Cause I'm fucked up. You understand that, right? Yeah. So a woman who cries is like a fucking gazelle that's got a broken leg. Mm-hmm. And the line's like, I'm not even hungry, but I got to eat you.
But
yes.
Did her mascara run though? Because like that will.
Bro. Okay, look.
You know what I mean?
on the off chance my wife hears this,
she will.
I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but I was like, all right, this is going to lead to very, very bad things. Yeah. And like all types of weird fantasies because it's her couch, her office. I get the power. You get it.
Yeah.
Second therapist, I'm like, dude, go find a male therapist. He was probably in his late 30s. Young, and I can tell he was intimidated by me, and I could wordsmith him because I'm pretty intelligent. I could wordsmith him and not talk about the stuff that he wanted me to talk about. When I accidentally found Kevin, the third therapist, the first 2 sessions, I'm trying to make small talk and asking him, hey, what did you do? And he's like, oh, this weekend, me and the family, we went to the lake and motorboat. Oh, what kind of motorboat is it? And I'm like, if I can kill this hour, I can do this for a while. And right, even though I'm there to get help, I don't really want it because I don't want to talk about the things I don't want to talk about. And he's like, hey, Bedros, we can talk about the boat that I have all day long, but that's not why you're paying me $175 an hour. How about you let me ask you some questions? Is that okay? And I was like, well, fuck you. Fine. Ask away. And that's how it all began. And full disclosure, man, I'm a dude of routine. And so I was like, Kevin, I like coming here on Mondays after work. Mondays are my most stressful days, and I feel like if you're going to help me, you're going to help me the most on Mondays. So I would come at 6 p.m. on a Monday. Some Mondays were just so busy at HQ, growing a franchise, that I was like, Kevin, could I just pay and just sleep on your couch here for an hour, like take a nap? And he wouldn't let me just take a nap, obviously, but we'd have lighter conversation. It was just about his hobbies, my hobbies. And I learned that he plays the saxophone. Really awesome dude. Like, I really love him, and awesome human. I still see him once a month. Because I went there every Monday for almost 16 months. And then some Mondays, it was just such fucking hard, like so many layers of your heart is just fucking pulled apart, and you get to the fucking pain and the ugliness. And then you're walking out to your fucking truck, and it feels like I'm walking through molasses. I don't know what else to describe good therapy other than days of walking through molasses. And then 3 days after the session, you're like, fuck, that's what happened to me. That's that one time, that's it. Like something he said on Monday, like, boom. Thursday, it hit me. I got it, right? And all of a sudden you're not walking through molasses only to go back on Monday and find yourself in molasses again. But one molassesy trip at a time led to that. And Kevin ultimately made me write a letter to myself, to my younger self. And he gave me the first sentence. Between the ages of 4 and 6, while in Armenia, I was molested by 2 older boys. But today, you're, and then just that's the, right? And I wrote 9 pages to myself. Took me a couple of months to write it. I tried on my iPhone, didn't work. Tried on paper, it didn't work. Laptop, it didn't work. Finally, I said, Thanksgiving is coming, and I will not sit at the Thanksgiving table. Again, I'm extremist. I give myself rules. I will not be at the Thanksgiving table if I don't fucking write this letter to myself, to my younger self. And so 2 days before Thanksgiving, I typed it all up, sitting in my car close to a Starbucks so I could ride their Wi-Fi. Crying in my Tahoe. I was driving a Tahoe, just fucking crying on the keyboards, typing out to this young fucking kid what happened to him and who he is now and the impact that he's making now. And I fucking hit send to Kevin, and it was just such a fucking relief. And then we spent the next few months going line by line and unpacking 9 pages that I wrote to this little boy. Because what I didn't tell you is when Kevin asked me what happened to you as a little boy, I said, nothing happened to that little kid. What happened to that little kid, I've dealt with. He goes, can you say what happened to me? And I started crying. And this was kind of like month number 1 in working with him. And when you can't even say what happened to me, that's called disassociation, which is the first step in creating multiple personality. So I was this close to having a multiple personality disorder because of the trauma that had happened to me. So it was a very healing experience, and I feel like that has allowed me to speak openly about it. I would 10 years ago, I would have never thought that I'd be on stage, on TV, in front of a podcast like this, and just talking about it. But it's just a speed bump. It's just like if I talked about the time I tore my bicep. That's how it feels, and I want every man to know, every woman to know, every human to know that is not your identity. That is not the story that has to get continued. Your book of life has so many more pages, and you can take the pen back and start writing how the next chapter and the chapter after that and the chapter after that looks. But that only happens when you begin to heal, and healing does take a lot of work.
It's also important for people to understand you were nearly 40 years old.
Yeah.
You were 38 when you started to, like, I don't know, I guess, like, find your groove and start to, I mean, you must feel so much better the last 10 years.
Oh, dude. I look better physically. People tell me that I carry myself lighter, like I'm not as dark and angry and bitter. And I really believe, like, there is weight to trauma. There is emotional weight to trauma.
It's interesting because I think, like, for our own kids, you know, you're wanting them to, like, I think a lot of parents are wanting them to, like, pick something to do. Like, what is your son doing? Like, is he going to college? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? It takes a really long time to try to figure out how to become a man, and you're still probably in a long working process of still working on figuring that out, right?
I'm a work in progress. Like, you know that movie, Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
Right?
That was great.
And they were like, man, we understand how you forged the checks. We understand how you even created a fake ID and you sat in the cockpit. You didn't fly the plane, but you sat in the cockpit. How did you run a university class? He goes, I just had to be one chapter ahead of all the other students. And that's how he ran a whole semester of university and gave tests. And that is a very powerful thing, because I just have to be one chapter ahead of all the men that I want to serve. So if I know my calling on this planet then is to serve men, I cannot stop doing the work. I have to put myself around good men. I have to keep digging. If I sense pain now, I don't just let my ego shield and soothe, and I turn towards it and then just jump at it because I know there's goodness on the other side of the molasses. If I have a question, I'll text Kevin, and he'll add it to his list of questions that he'll answer when I see him at the end of the month. Whereas before, the old me would be like, I wonder if this is, if I have this pattern in my relationship. It doesn't matter. Move on, make more money, right? And so I will always stay a chapter ahead of all men, and I feel like I'm a work in progress. And if I do my job right, maybe, just maybe, I'll come to some level of self-actualization moments before I die when I'm 100 years old.
What about the people that met you before 38? Is there a wake of people that got chewed up and spit out by the old Bedros Keuilian?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's got to be painful too, to try to, reconcile or figure those things out. Did you have to go back to people and communicate and say?
Every single one of them I did. And there's four really good dudes. One of them, my former business partner at Fit Body Boot Camp. We started Fit Body Boot Camp together. No one's made me laugh as hard as him. My coffee, I would like in the sitcom, I would spit my coffee out. He would make me laugh so hard. He once sent me a video when the iPhone first came out. We launched Fit Body Boot Camp in 2010, became a franchise by 2011. He sent me a happy birthday video because it's my birthday, but he had taken a Sharpie and painted eyes on the head of his cock. Yeah. And then he held the camera and he's squeezing the head of his cock. So his pee hole is moving like a mouth. You guys picture this, right?
It's incredible.
Yes.
And it's moving like a mouth. It's like, hi, Bedros, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. You're a wonderful guy.
God, we need friends like that.
Yet, so sadly, like here we are laughing, and it's like, I'm telling you, no one's made me laugh that hard. Like and that's just one of 10 things I can tell you about this guy. And we were family friends and all that. But I had so much fucking and our work ethics did not match. Full disclosure, our work ethics did not match. I'm a fucking Clydesdale of a workhorse where business is concerned. Like, I'll put my fucking head down and work. And him, not so much. He's a funny dude who just had a good idea called Fit Body Boot Camp. And so when we came to a fork in the road, I spent a whole year building this resentment against him until I finally sat him down and went off at him, chewed him out, and said, one of us have to fucking go. It's either you or me. Well, he didn't have the money to buy me out. I had businesses before that, so I bought him out. But that conversation today would have been different. The first time he frustrated me, I would have been like, hey, bro, sit down. You're funny, but you're a horrible visionary. This is the lane that you're good at. Don't do that stuff anymore. And I say this with love. That's how I show up today. And so there's 4 dudes who tell me to go fuck off, and they have every right to. I'm a bull in the china closet pre-38, and that monster still lives within me, but that monster is now used for good for the most part. Unless we're on an airplane, I got to choke a motherfucker out, then I will. Yeah.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.